Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Leslie and today I am making a bunch of cards, y'all. I recently purchased this lovely Foundation 11 set of dies from Queen and Company, and so I'm going to make my way through their sketches. So every Foundation set of dies have sketches that they have provided, and I love them so much, and it's great because it uses either just the dies in that set or it uses a mix of dies throughout different foundation sets if you have multiple ones, and so it's a really great jumping off point, and I decided I wanted to make my way through all of these. So today I'm actually going to be making 5 of the 6 because the 6th one is actually going to be in a separate video later on this week, and you will see that video soon and understand why it's not in this one. All right, so I am starting out with this sketch here, the one in the top right hand corner. I feel like it's one of the simpler ones, and with this set of cards, I'm trying to make as many kind of masculine ones as I can because I have come to the realization that I'm really good at feminine cards, not as well as masculine cards, and I need more masculine cards. So we're going to be making several of these. So the great thing about these foundation dies, they have different shapes. You can make several different cards, and this is just a starting point with these sketches. You can actually put a ton of different types of cards together using this set of dies, but all of them have that stitching on it, and they're just beautiful. And of course, I am bringing in several sets of my Queen & Co. shaker kits. So this is the dinosaur shaker kit. I will have links to all the products I use down below, and I did change this up just a little bit. That sentiment is supposed to go across a little bit more of that diamond shaped die there, but because my dino is so big, I didn't want to block the shaker bits. So I am putting it below him, so it's a little bit lower than what the sketch calls for. That way he looks kind of like he's sitting on it. I really like that. And then I am going to go ahead and bump this up as well. So that light blue pattern paper, I did take an embossing folder to it. That is also one of Queen & Company's products. They have a whole set of embossing folders kind of to start you out. If you're just starting card making, it's a really good jumping off point. If you don't have any embossing folders or not very many, it kind of gives a lot of the basics, which when I bought it, I was new to card making and I needed it. So and I love using it over and over and over again. And then these are little pearls from Queen & Company as well. So that finishes off that first one. And like I said, that is for that top right hand sketch. And I love how it came out. It's so perfect. And I just know the recipient is going to love it. So let's go ahead and show you this is the dino kit that I was telling you about. I'm going to make a T-Rex here. If you want to see how to make the other dinosaur that I made in the first one, I will link to another video. I have used this in a video before, so that's why I didn't make it on here. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the T-Rex here, which I think is so adorable. I'm aiming for a pink one because, you know, dinosaurs can be pink too. And since the rest of these sketches have use of the florals, I wanted to make some kind of girly dinosaurs because, you know, girls like dinosaurs too. This is the Fossil Friends kit, and it of course comes with 39 steel dies, a 6x6 paper pad, a 4x6 clear stamp, which is where I'm getting the "You Are a Dynamite Friend" sentiment, and then of course 12 foam shakers and acetate, 6 shaker toppings. So the great thing about this, and then I also have the outline die as well because that actually is in this bundle. All the dinosaurs have the same shaker shape, so they actually included the outline die in this particular one. They don't usually, and I always tend to get the outline dies with any of my shakers, and that little cute. You gotta really line up the toes. That's what I'm showing you there. I was struggling with that. But the great thing is that if you get some fun foam, you can actually make some more shakers using those outline dies, and then of course the shaker dies themselves. And that way you can continue to make more after you've done your 12 different shakers. So this is definitely kits that you can use over and over and over again. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the shaker belly onto the body here, just kind of lining it up with where the feet are going to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue those little feet on. And like I said, you do have to line up those little claws with the toes pretty well. They kind of have a little bit of an indent, kind of see where they line up. So you just have to really look for that. And then getting that all lined up, kind of like he's sitting. It's so cute. I'm actually doing the tail a little bit differently than what they show. You could turn it up, you can turn it down. The tail is kind of versatile. And then we're going to go ahead and put the headpiece on. Now, this is why you always keep the inside of the shakers. You can use that foam for like the head, so it has a little bit more stability on your card. I cut it up and use it all the time for different pieces, or if I'm making other kind of shakers, I really like to use the edges of the foam tape here. And this is where I'm starting to realize that I think I did something wrong. Because the teeth that go with him are a little bit too big for his nose. You all, I really was tired this night or something. Because I was like, oh, it's fine. That's probably what it is. I'm just going to keep pushing through. I'm putting the black little circle underneath his mouth so it looks like his mouth is open. And it's just not quite doing it for me. It's about right there where I am just looking at it going, I don't think this is right. And it wasn't. So there is actually, I believe, 3 different sizes of noses in this kit, and I clearly had the wrong one. I knew it wasn't one of them because one of them is more round, but there is 2 different sizes of this more oval shaped. So I redid that nose, that snout there, and got the right one on him, because otherwise he probably would have looked a little funny, and of course his teeth were clearly not lining up correctly. So, if in doubt, go back to your dies and look again. Right, and then I'm just going to get the little eyes popped on here. Sometimes I use the eyes from the dies, sometimes I use Google eyes, depending on my feelings of that day and what I think looks best. I really like how these eyes look on the T-Rex, so I decided to keep them here. I love his little hands. You could also put something in his hands, like if you had some dies like a heart or something, if you didn't want to do the shaker, if you wanted to just have pattern paper there or something, you could have him holding a little heart. Or I have a bunch of dies from Jaded Blossom with their gnomes, and they have little things that the gnomes hold, and I think that would be the perfect size for these dinos. And so you could turn this dinosaur into a Christmas dinosaur, or you can turn this dinosaur into a Halloween dinosaur just by having him hold something and putting a hat on him. So that's definitely going to be in the future for me. Be on the lookout for that. So this pattern paper is so old, y'all. I have a pad of paper. It's it's called, what's it called? Something with glitter. I don't even know where I got it, because I'm pretty sure I got it back in high school, when I was in my peak of scrapbooking days, when I really started to get into paper crafting. And this was actually in there, and I had seen this because I was going through old paper pads going, I need to really get these out kind of thing, really narrow down my stash, either de-stash or just start making a bunch of cards kind of thing. And I was going to use this paper for my friend's birthday card, but it ended up just not working how I wanted. But I had put some cardstock colors with it that I knew would go really well with the pattern paper, and so I had put it to the side and I kept looking at it. And so when I decided to make this pink dino, I'm like, oh, that pattern paper is perfect. So definitely use your stash. You can really make some fun different cards and just use a variety of different things just by using what's in your stash and just using these dies. So you saw the first set, using the darker green and blues makes a completely different look of card depending on your pattern paper and what you're going for. So as you can see on that white little sentiment strip on the back, there's some markings there. Like I said, I don't throw away white cardstock paper. I do make my daughter's monthly milestone little pendant kind of thing, and I print on it, and then I cut it out, and the markings that it uses to print, so that it can be cut out with a Cricut, I just put that on the other side and I use those scraps. So that's what's on the back of that. And then I use it for, things like this, sentiments. Just getting those flowers down. I was trying to figure out if I wanted to kind of bump them up or shift it how I wanted to. This ended up working out great. And then I decided to bring in some gems that I had at my stash and put some middles in just to add a little bit more of that sparkle and bling. I happen to have some gems that kind of had a brownish bronzy coloring, and I just thought that it just went just so well together. And then I decided to add in some gel, some white gel roly pin here to do some stitching and putting some little marks on the dinosaur just to really make it stand out some more, because it needed something. And then I did add some extra gems to that flower. So that was the middle bottom of our sentiment sheet. So now we're back up to the middle top, and this is where we're going to bring in that heart plate. And I love this heart plate. You all, this is fantastic because not only does it punch out these little hearts, and you use that negative for this sketch, but you can use all those little hearts as confetti for your shaker card, and that is what we are going to be doing today. So again, I just found another pad of paper that I'm like, I haven't used this paper in forever, let's use it. And I decided to make this card. So this is real busy on this side, which is why we're not using this side. But the other side is a tone-on-tone pattern paper. I wanted it to have a little bit of detail other than just the hearts, not just a plain. And so there is some chevron stripes on that paper. It's kind of hard to see on the video, but as you can see, that way the hearts really come out and you can really see them really well. And then of course I am putting acrylic black on that just because I needed it to be stabilized. So like I said, I'm putting all those little hearts into my little fish shaker here. This is so cute. And then I also put some of the different shaker bits from Queen & Co., the little scales and that kind of thing. And this one is You Are Fantastic. This is another set that I own. I love ocean sets. My middle child, her nursery theme was ocean theme. So I'm definitely using a lot of ocean things in her scrapbook. And so I just had to get my hands on this shaker kit. This one actually comes from their Under the Sea kit. I also have their Ocean Friends, but I believe their Ocean's Friends is retired, so I don't think they have that one anymore. But I just love this little fishy. He's pretty straightforward to put together, so I decided not to do it on screen, but I just wanted to add him in here. Oh, it's just so cute. And then in that kit, they also have the starfish, and so I decided to use the starfish die instead of one of the flowers. Just to make it a little bit more oceany. I thought it was fun. I thought they fit really well, and they're similar sizing to that smaller flower that is originally supposed to go with this sketch. So just trying to switch it up a little bit here. Used several different pattern papers for this, all in the same kind of color boat though, since they came from the same pad of paper, and I just thought it looked so cute together. This is just such a fun and bright card, perfect for the age group that I usually donate to. I usually donate my cards either to Cards for Cubs, or I donate to a friend of mine's Royal Family Kids Camp, and they just love encouraging cards, and this one is just perfect for it. So you are fantastic. I love a good pun. And so I really, really like how this card came out. So I am going to bring in some gems from my stash here. These are more kind of a bubble look is what I was going for. They really catch the light. They're clear, but they have a little bit of kind of a hollow effect on it. And then I did decide to add a little bit of white to his eye just so it stands out a little bit more and gives him a little bit more life here. So I could add stitching to this like I did the dinosaur, but I decided not to, just kind of keep it simple since there's so many different patterns already going on. So moving on, we are going to go ahead and do the top left corner. I know I'm not kind of really going in any particular order. I was just going with what kind of struck me, its mood. This paper actually comes from a pad of paper from Queen and Company. I believe this one came with the Ocean's Friends kit. So that's where this paper is from. And it's so cute. I just love all the little fishies in the bottom layer, and then we got the waves, and then this purple tone on tone with a whole lot of that those stars. So of course I'm going to use the stars in my shaker kit. So we're gonna make a cute little whale here. And he is part of the Ocean Friends kit, and like I said, that one is retired, so they don't have any more of those kits yet. I think they still had the outline dies available to purchase, but no more of the actual kits. So just removing that middle foam here, it just helps to kind of keep everything together. This foam is easily pliable, so if you take it off first, sometimes it can have some issues lining up. So that's most likely user error for me. But I did go ahead and start with the stars again, and then I'm bringing in all these shell confettis that is part of the kit. So I decided to do the purple, the blue, and the pink, really working off the colors that are already in the card. And then I'm going to very carefully take off that paper. I usually spill at that point or tap it weird, and then all the shaker bits start sticking everywhere. Definitely user issues there. And then going ahead and putting the acetate that seals in the shaker, using liquid glue along the edge so that I can put the stitched edging of my whale on top of here. I just think it comes out so cute. It's so pretty. And who doesn't like a good shaker card? I love interactive cards, and shakers are just so easy to make, especially when you have these kits from Queen & Co. So I'm going to go ahead and put an acrylic block on that, let that really seal, just because glue on acetate, you really want to make sure it sticks. I'm going to go ahead and get my sentiment strip going here. So this one, it says, "Well, hello there." Like I said, I love a good pun. And then we're going to go ahead and glue on our little whale here. I just really love ocean themed things. And so I like how this card comes out. And it's just so much fun. The whale was bugging me though, so you will see how I fix it in a little bit. But just going ahead and attaching my flowers now. I used several of the pattern paper that I already had going on in the card just to really balance it out. So I put the purple one away from a bunch of the purple circle there, the pink one down below to kind of even out the whale, and then that blue one on top of the purple circle, just so it gets away from that wave pattern paper. So really kind of bringing around with your eye here. So, and then the centers, we're just going to go with some silver bling from my stash here. I believe these are from Cat Scrappiness. They're silver pearls. And then we're just going to go ahead and use that. Comes in a few different sizes in this little pack, so I'm just figuring out which size I want to go where. I feel like the smaller one fits for that more heart-shaped flower, and bigger ones for the bigger middle. And then I was just kind of getting a feel of if I wanted some extra bling around the sentiment here too. You can never have enough bling or too much bling, I guess. I have yet to feel like I made a card that I went, nope, that's too much bling. Gotta add a little bit more sparkle here. So I did decide to put a couple around the sentiment just so it draws your eyes to that sentiment as well. And then I did decide to put on a little smiley from the kit that wasn't necessarily for this whale, but I decided to put it on there. And then I put a gem for his eye because I wanted him to really come to life, kind of thing. So the last sketch is pretty straightforward. I am following it almost to a T here because I went fish and dinosaurs don't quite fit. And so I'm like, I'm just going to follow the sketch perfectly here where it's just exactly what it called for. So again, bringing in some random paper. This green paper actually comes from a pack that I recently bought at Hobby Lobby, a 12 by 12 watercolors that I'm like, I'm going to use all of these. And then the rest of the pattern paper comes from a pack from Queen & Co. I believe it's the Flirty Florals. So I'll have to see if they still have that available. Like I said, I'm going to have links in the description box of the products that I am using if they are still available at Queen & Co. I do tend to purchase things when they're on sale, like this foundation die set. It is my second foundation die set from them. My first one was actually their floral one, so it's a bunch of different floral shapes, and I love that one so much. Of course, it doesn't have sketches because they're meant to be used as accents. So this was my first die set that had the sketches. So I did buy this on their recent sale. I want to say a couple months ago they were having a sale that had a bunch of different of the foundations set, so I decided it's time to get one. So this one does say hello friend. I tried to get it right in the middle. It did not work. Lining things up and my eyes doesn't always do that great. It's real close to the middle and it's good enough for me. I'm going to kind of adjust things so that it looks like it was on purpose. Which, these cards are handmade. People don't notice that. And, happy mail kind of thing. Like, I receive happy mail and I'm not looking at it going, oh, they didn't get it quite, lined up there. I don't ever think that, and I don't think anybody else really does. It's just us as creators. We want it to be perfect. And when it's not perfect, it makes us sad. So this is what I was talking about. Don't ever throw away the shaker foam. You can always use it. And here I am using it to pop behind a couple of these petals here. I just cut it up real small. This is just to kind of even out how I am setting this up. Because I decided not to do a shaker, I am doing some dimension with that pocket. So I had put some of that foam behind that pocket, and then I needed some of the foam on top of that one flower that was connected to the pocket as well. So just getting all the florals down, and then I am bringing in some gems from my stash, and we're going to go ahead and put these in all the little middles of these flowers. And I am just using kind of a goldish color that I felt really went well with these, with the colors here. You saw me, I had to put one back because it's 2 strips of each color on this sheet and I had the wrong one. But that's one of the reasons where I try not to press down too hard until I'm completely done on these gems, just in case I change my mind. I do use this tool. This tool I actually had way back in the day, but it's used to poke holes into paper so that you can do stitching on paper, or when I used it, it was originally to make holes for brads. Anybody remember Brads? That might be aging me a bit. I haven't really seen them in the market lately. But I use it all the time to place my gems, so it's a really handy thing. So use what you got in your stash, y'all. And so these are the 5 cards. I have them set up how they are on the sketch. Of course, that one is going to be in another video soon. You will be seeing that very, very soon. And so these are all my little shaker cards. I just love them so much. They just make me so happy. I did get 1 masculine to 4 feminine, but you know, that's me. I got my work cut out for me. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me. Leave me a comment which one is your favorite. Let me know. If you've ever shopped at Queen & Co., let me know. It's a great little company. And of course, if you are new here, hit that subscribe, hit that bell so that you don't miss a video. And I hope you all have a crafty day. Bye!